Good evening. Happy Saturday and welcome. I feel like I want to bathe in this tonight. OMG. I mean, I have so many, look at me, I'm sweating. I have so many stories to share with you tonight. I'm not even sure if we're going to get any painting done. It is going to be off the scale. It is been a crazy day. It has been a crazy week. I am exhausted, to be honest, but we are going to try and I can hear myself twice because bless my husband who's over there. He's setting up the iPad so that I can see all your comments. And I can hear myself in the background. So we're doing sip and paint at my house today. You guys are in my home. There's no social distance. You're right inside the lounge. And that's because I have zero phone connection at the studio. It's a total disaster. I was trying to do a birthday party to Sydney. That was a disaster. I tried to do the kids' paint and picnic. That was a disaster. It's been a disaster all round. But anyway, hello Helen, Samantha, Susie, Catherine, and a few others that have just arrived. Hello the Dixons and the Brennans. Oh my God. I can't tell you, we are just in a world of pain in my life at the moment. You have no idea. I am so glad I have this. We've just had our Irish supper. Karen Furs, hello! My goodness, Betsy, hello. Wow, Rachel, hello. Thank you for your Harry Potter wand that you gave me. The kids loved it. The birthday party was a technological disaster. We had a nightmare, no Wi-Fi. Everybody in the gap is clearly playing Roblox and I had no signal. So it was a nightmare. So anyway, forget social distancing. You're in my house, happy housewarming. That's right, Helen. And you're going to watch me paint. So I'm just going to take a swig because I'm being a bit crazy. All right. So I thought because there's a lot of people that have been doing it and wanting to. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Kelly. There's a lot of people that have been doing it on watercolours and seem to be struggling with the transition. Hello from Newcastle. Hi, Patricia. Welcome back. Erin, thank you for all that Harry Potter stuff. Amazing. Total love up to your family. Thank you so much. I'll talk a bit more when I ramble later on about the disaster of it. But anyway, I appreciated it. Yeah, what was I saying? So often I do these with acrylic and canvas. And there's people at home using watercolours and they're finding it difficult to transition between the two. So I thought to change it up for the kids as well, we'll use watercolours today and paper. And then I had a message from my gorgeous friend Nikki in Cornwall in England, who I've been trying to coerce. I used to play netball with her. She's fantastic. Her husband is the mayor of Bodmin. And I've been trying to say, come and join. She goes, oh, Bird, I'd love to, but I got no paints. Anyway, her daughter went off and bought her paints from the supermarket this week. So now she's got acrylics. So I'm attempting, first time ever in the world, to paint two paintings at the same time. One in watercolour and one in acrylic. It's going to go a bit like my head. But so if you're doing poster paint or acrylic, you can follow me on that. If you're doing watercolour like the family, you can follow me on that. If you're using pencils or pens, tough. You'll just have to work it out. Sorry, didn't mean that. Sorry, Mum. Hi, Mum. But we'll work it out, okay? Auntie Myra is here as well. Oh, my God, it's a full house from Cornwall. Everybody is out in the morning this morning. All right, so I'm going to turn it round, and that means you get to see my family all the time today. Worried, yes. Nightmare, potentially. Psychotic parents that'll end up pissed tonight, very likely. However, I apologise for their hair. They all wanted to bleach it this week. Obviously, we have gone stir crazy. So not only has my eldest son now got a buzz cut, he's also got a buzz cut that is sort of orangey blonde. The other two have got blonde. It's all going off in my head. Hello, Aidan. Hello, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to have to say goodbye right now because I am now going to go to the canvas. I'm going to flick it over, okay? Mwah. Good luck. May the force be with us. Now, so you can see at the back, there's Harry B. Wave, wave. Oh no, I'm too embarrassed. Not sure who the big nut with the ginger hair is at the back. Not Ginger David Thomas, blonde. And Daisy is going to obviously have a giggling fit because she always does. Please let me show you. Let me introduce you. This is the school routine for next week. Heaven help us. And here's my IT extraordinaire superstar, David Bessel, who's trying to hook me up so I can see your comments at the same time. This is the first time we've done it at home. It's all going to go a bit peak-tong, I'm sure. Thank you in the background to Tracy Gray. Big thank out to her. She popped over with some flowers and a glass of bubbly because she's been enjoying my sip and paints and she wanted to say thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to say to you, obviously you don't have to do that, but if every week you feel the need to pay for it in champagne, obviously I'm not going to say no. All right. Oh, David's got me sorted. Okay. So today, the only thing I'm missing is my picture. Today we are doing a Irish landscape. I'm going to have to flick it back so you can talk to... I can't talk like that without otherwise, can I? Hi, Kim and Jill. Nice. Not happening here on iPad. What does that mean? Mum. Oh, not happening here. I'm on iPad. Okay, fine, whatever. So we're going to do an Irish landscape. As you know, I like to dedicate all of my sip and paints to the struggles all around the world. We've been to China. We've been to Japan. We've been to England, France, and Spain. Today we're off to Bonnie Ireland. And I've never painted an Irish painting in my life. I had a complete request for this. So, hi Tracy from Bodmin. Rebecca's in. A good job. Hopefully Ray's got his paints going. Ray is our Irish member of the painting world tonight. And so's Denny Brennan. So I messaged a few Irish people and asked them to join me. If Annette Haverbecker, although Haverbecker is a Dutch name, they live in Holland. Her husband is Dutch. She is Irish too. So we might have another Irish jumping in at some point. Anyway, having never painted an Irish landscape, I picked two pictures that I quite liked. And this is how it rolls with me. I just kind of Google something and think, yeah, that would work. And obviously it's got to be something that you novices that aren't very skilled at could manage. And you're going to be drinking and having fun. So it's important that you can manage it and laugh at the same time. So we're going to do something kind of like this with a bit of this. Something in between. These are my Irish cottages. This is another painting by some other random person. And actually it looks very much like Cornwall. And Cornwall is obviously where I'm from, so I'm hoping this is going to be beautiful. So let's get started. I'm now going to flip and we are going to go. I'm going to start off painting the first bit in acrylic. And then I'm going to show you, if you're doing watercolour, how to do it in watercolour, okay? That's the easiest way of doing it. So I'm going to flip and off we go. Popping it down there. All right. Harry, can you just check that everybody can see me? Would be great. I'll have another stool for my brushes.
Where are you going to be standing?
Just going to move that back there. I'm going to be stood right here. So they don't need to see me, they just need to see the board. Okay? The first thing we're going to do, people, is we are going to put in our horizon. So, for acrylic people, let's go with the acrylic. We are going to put in our horizon, and I want it to be undulating. Undulating is a bit like my curvaceous body. It means it goes up and down, and we'll get that lovely roll. So here we go. I'm going to go from one side to the other, and I'm going to undulate my hill like that. Okay? Watercolour friends, you can do exactly the same. So I'm just going to come around here. If I do this, you could probably watch it like that, couldn't you? You could watch it live.
You're kind of blocking it.
I'm kind of blocking it, but I don't want to be blocking it. Okay.
You're
Kind of blocking it, apparently. Hello, Sarah. Nice for you to hook in. So they're going to be doing watercolour. So we've got this undulating hill there, this one here. If you're using watercolours, you can go for it now. I'm just going to do my hill again, so it's a bit darker because it didn't quite come out very... I'm using a pale light green, I would call it. I would say grass green. Bright, vibrant. It's got a slight undulating hill. And then I'm going to put a second hill in the background. Like that. So you've got that distance thing happening. So second hill just there in the background. Whenever you're away from the camera, we can't hear you. Hello from Ashleen from Northern Ireland. You are welcome. Hello, Ashleen. Okay, I will need to speak up. I'll try and speak to the camera and then go round and show you. That's the easiest, okay? As I said, Ashleen, unfortunately, I normally do this in my studio, and because I have zero reception, we are doing it kind of from home. So welcome to my house. I've only been in it myself a couple of weeks, so it's a housewarming for everybody. Okay, so we're now going to put in a third hill. Okay, my third hill is going to go up here, and it's going to go into that background. So we get that kind of undulating hill rolling in the background. I'm not seeing any comments on that, that's the thing, which is why I keep going around there, but that's fine. You can at least watch it. Yeah. Good job. So we've got Northern Ireland on, we've got Newcastle on, we have got, where else have we got? Bodmin in Cornwall, we've got Brisbane. Anywhere else, please let me know. All right, we're now going to add in, we've got Sydney. Lisa's from Sydney. Welcome, Lisa. We're now going to add in our kind of road. And our road is going to go, we need to kind of make it look like it goes into the distance, okay? So watch me before you paint. I'm starting sort of underneath that first hill. I'm starting and I'm going to do a big, wide letter C. A big, wide letter C. Like that, okay? Big, wide letter C. We've got Carol in Sydney. Welcome, Carol. Pam in Cornwall. Welcome, Mum. And I'm just going to edit that because I didn't want it to go to the bottom. I wanted it to have a bit of a corner curve.
What colour are you using? I'm
using the green. So we're drawing in our green. I'm just going to show you guys because I just changed that. So it goes down, around and curves at the bottom.
Yeah, you changed it.
I just changed it. That's okay. We're going to paint over it and everything anyway. It's always good not to panic if we change it. It's always good like that. Don't worry about that. Okay, then here I'm going to do a curve like this and we're going to join it up. So it basically opens and you get that feeling of the road going round the corner here and disappearing into where the hills are. That's the idea of that. So we've got, I guess it's as wide as my index finger. All right, the opening of the path is as wide as my index finger.
Daisy.
Okay, so far so good, people. David was looking forward to this painting. Why did you say that, David?
Because I didn't think it was as technical as last week's.
Exactly, there was some complaints from the family. Last week was way too technical. So we're going for something a little bit more manageable, a little bit more form. Bit of form. Okie dokie, good job so far. Okay, now I want you to switch it up and I want you to find a colour grey. If you've got a colour in your palette, you can use this. If you haven't in your acrylic paint, then just mix a bit of black and white to get a grey tone. And I would rather it was a light tone than a dark tone, something like that. Bit like an old person's hair colour, that sort of colour. Bit like the colour of my fridge, actually, that colour. Gonna aim for that colour.
Oh, we got it.
You got a colour like that?
No watercolour grey.
Yes, there is. Yeah, there is. There is definitely a grey in those palettes. Okay. So we're going to block in our houses, okay? Block in our houses. These are our little Irish cottages, and they're super simple because we are just going to use, I want them to look slightly not perfect, a bit like me, okay? So I want them to be a slightly bit wobbly. So I'll show you what I mean. So just watch me here. I'm starting just on the curve of this bend, and I'm going to do a downward line that's sort of at an angle. Then I'm going to do her horizontal. Then I'm going to make this angle go out that way. Now obviously, if you build any house that's kind of like that and not straight, you're going to think, well, that's definitely not by Dixon Renovations, that's for sure. No, because everything's perfect there, isn't it, Karen? Yeah, this is an old, cruggy old house, bit like we have in Cornwall, probably twice as old as Australia. It's probably 300 years old, I should think. Hello, cousin Natasha. Thanks for popping in. Lovely to see you. I've got lots of art on my You Create Art at Home website, Facebook page, Natasha, that little Hugo would love. Lots of finger painting and all sorts, so get him involved. Leanne, gorgeous Leanne from university. Miss our fun that we used to have. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so we've got this random little shape. It looks like a dodgy football goal. And then we're going to go up here and create a point, or the two sides of a triangle. Two sides of a triangle, and then a vertical line down. And that is the kind of craggy, crocky, just found our second level of colour. We will build beautiful, perfect. We always build beautiful. Yeah, that second level. You just lift up, Karen. It's underneath. They've just found they got two lots of colour. Okay, so you can see that we've got this kind of slightly odd shaping house, and that's what I want you to not be afraid of. It doesn't matter if it's a bit odd. We want this to have a bit of personality, guys, okay? So let's put the roof on top. And again, you can make it slope down if you want to. You can make it tall if you want to. We're going to colour all of this in. It's going to have this lovely sort of personality of a little bit odd, a little bit quirky. Just like my family. Oh, look at Daisy. Did you actually see the eyes roll above my canvas? Come along, people. So how has my week been? Holy dooly. Well, those of you that do read a bit of Facebook will know that it didn't start very well last night when I planned a date night for me and Hubster, and I booked us onto a cooking course. At 8 o'clock I went to the supermarket to buy my groceries, and I spent the next hour prepping everything, marinating my chicken, getting everything set and ready. And then at 7 o'clock I was kind of thinking, I still haven't had my Zoom meeting invitation. I don't know what the link is. So I messaged the lady, phoned the lady to find out it's actually next Friday. So I had made the kids have pizza and I put them in their room watching a movie, and we were going to get all sassy and have this lovely dinner together. Alas, it didn't happen. It was a bit like, oh, I don't even know what it was like. It was very, very sad. So David went out for Chinese instead last night. Okay, now we're going to do our second house. Our second house is going to be perched on this hill here in the middle, okay? The first shape you're going to do is a rectangle, okay? A rectangle. Super easy, a rectangle. Can't go wrong. Perched on the top of the hill. Just going to hit to my fridge and get some more champaloonies. How are we doing, kids? Looking good, looking good? Any enthusiasm in that response?
Yes!
Yes, Mum?
Yay.
Can you connect this up?
Pardon?
Can you connect this up?
That's all right. Well, do you think it would make a difference?
Well, people saying you couldn't hear as well.
So I need to just ask you, can you hear me okay? Just I know that lady in Northern Ireland couldn't hear me very well. Give me a clap or a heart or a thumbs up if, actually not all of them, that would be well confusing. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay and I'm keeping an okay speed. Thumbs up. Perfect. Thank you. Lovely, lovely, beautiful thumbs up. Thank you. Okay. If you can't hear, I keep on coming back to check it. Beautiful, everyone can hear me. I'm pretty sure in Northern Ireland you could hear me even in across the 10,000 miles, but I have got a loud voice, as most people know. Okay, so you've done, oh, you're getting the messages through now, awesome. Okay, so we've done the rectangle in the middle. Now, just drop the line For the next square, it's going to go a little bit lower and do another rectangle. Okay, it's going to go across the bottom there, another rectangle. And then we're going to do a wider one to the right-hand side. Okay, this is the front vista of our cottage. The front vista of our cottage. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Awesome! So that was my first funny story I was going to share with you. The fact that David and I didn't get a date night last night. In fact, we had Chinese and ate far too much. What was the other funny story I was going to share, Daisy?
The party.
Zoom meeting.
Oh, David, you said it was such exasperation. The Zoom party. So my friend in Sydney, beautiful Georgina Varney, who been friends with since Thomas was a bubba. Okay, we're going to do a little triangle here, or two sides of the triangle, to make it three-dimensional on our cottage. Her daughter has cerebral palsy. I'm a bit worried about give me the clap. Bit worried about it. Why, Denny? Why are you a bit worried about that? Give me the clap. Oh, I see.
He's had it before.
You've had it before. Oh my God, it's all gone way dark. The kids are looking at us going, what's that? I don't understand. I'm not even going to try. It took me a while to get it, didn't it? But I'm not going to even entertain that conversation. It's too early to have conversations about STDs. Anyway, moving on. Daisy's eyes are rolling down the road right now. You've done that bit of your roof. You're now going to do the far side of your cottage and make it go right down to touch your the top of your green hill, people. Okay? So yeah, I was doing this Zoom party. She asked me if I'd do the Zoom party for Lizzie, who's got cerebral palsy, and she loves Harry Potter. So I put a shout out on the Gap Grapevine for some Harry Potter costumes and bits and bobs, and beautiful Erin, and loads of people came forward, Rachel Miller, and I went round this morning for an hour picking all this stuff up. I set my studio up and it looked like a scene from the movie. It was off the scale, wasn't it, Daisy? We had neon lights and flashing lights and little things happening.
Role play with emotion.
We had a role play. Daisy and I were going to role play. But then we had no reception. No reception whatsoever. We had all these children in Sydney hooked in for this Zoom party and we couldn't get anything happening. It was a nightmare. So the only option with my husband's idea was, you know, when the chips are down and you've got a priority one warning, you go into disaster recovery. So off we picked everything up and we ran dressed in Harry Potter outfit across the main road by the 7-Eleven on Fenrir Grocer and came home and did it in the garage. It was carnage, I can tell you. Okay, before you put the roof on your little house, I want you to do some chimneys. Chimneys are Australian people. Chimneys are things we have on our houses in England because it's bloody freezing. And because it's bloody freezing, we have to have fires. So chimneys live on the roof of houses. They go like this. It's a little square pot. And you're going to have a tiny little bit that goes down where it connects to the top of the roof. And then we're going to try and make it three-dimensional by putting a little piece that goes in behind the roof. I'm going to bring the roof across, and I'm going to do exactly the same shape. Exactly the same shape on this other chimney here. Bring the roof across and create that angle. So what we're doing at the moment is we're sketching with our paint. Tracy Gray, Dave Brennan is falling behind. Lexi Dixon's here in the house. Go, Lexi. Hi, Carol. Are you painting or are you just watching? You can just watch my answer. That is fine. But if you want to paint, that is great too. And welcome. Karen is watching. Hi, Karen. You're welcome to watch. I always say it's a bit of fun at the weekends. Have a good old watch. Right. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start the old watercolour. What can't you see? Sorry. There we go. My husband has gone for a very large cottage on his picture. We have got Gino Cottage going on here. Okay, I'm going to go up and down. Oh. Lexi's too drunk to take. Oh, Carol is too drunk to take part. Probably, Carol, you do the best painting ever, actually, when you're too drunk. So, I'm just catching up here with my watercolour.
Oh.
And you know what? If you do make a few choice changes to your design, that's fine. I have no problem with that. So I am just putting in. So this is my watercolour. It should look very similar to what we've drawn there. I've just drawn in the lines. I haven't done the cottage yet. But at the same time, all we're doing is kind of lining it in. So I'm going to carry on with that in a minute. Okay, we want to kind of create the background. We want to add in the foliage and we want to add in what the line is going to be in the very back. And, you know, in Northern Ireland, as in Cornwall, as in country England, we have lots of fields. Unlike Australia, where it's just massive rolling plains, there are lots of small little fields that are all broken up by hedges, which are really, really cute. So, I am going to switch it up here, and we're going to go for a darker green. If you've got a dark green, find a dark green, and I'm going to start to paint some shapes of trees in behind my cottage that's in the centre of my painting. The way I would say that's like a point, or it's a bit like a fire. So I guess these would be kind of like fir trees or, you know, conifer trees. And I want to do exactly the same on this background. So I'm going to do a line of pointy trees right along the back. I know it seems weird at the moment, but we're going to put other trees in front of them. So you get that real sense that there's some sort of foresty thing happening there. Beautiful. How are you doing there, guys? Okay? Try not to make the trees exactly all the same. You know, at the end of the day, nature is a forgiving thing. So things are different shapes. So you might have some that are tall and thin and some that are slightly shorter. Okay, I'm just catching up here on the little watercolour. Nikki Cooper, you better be painting. You got acrylics and I'm doing it in acrylic and watercolour, especially for you. You better be painting, young lady. Okay, so that is as much as I'm drawing in right now. If you have a second paintbrush, see this one here is a bigger paintbrush than one I used there. I want you to mix a nice pale grey. So the grey that we used for the house, I want you to go much paler. Now if you're using watercolours, you're not going to be able to do that. So you're going to have to use the paper as your grey tone. Because or you use, okay, those of you doing watercolours, wait, don't do anything. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to show you with watercolour, okay? Let me just do this for the acrylic people. I'm putting in the grey on the sky. Why? Well, in the Northern Hemisphere, especially in Ireland and certainly in Cornwall, we don't see much blue sky as it goes. It often is a grey sky. So we just will live with that. Now here you're going to need to be super careful that you don't pick up the green. If your green is still a little bit wet there for the trees. Otherwise you're going to have greeny grey, which is okay. Okay, I'm just filling in. The way I'm painting this is lots of different strokes. So you can see I'm going across like this, but I'm also going round the house, in where the V is, Watercolour people, just sit there and drink. I'm going to show you in a minute, otherwise you're going to end up making a mistake. Just stay. I'm just showing the acrylic people because it's very different with watercolour. So you can see I'm adding a little bit of black. We're going to put some clouds in later, but I just want to get that grey colour. Oh, did you see there, look? Picked up the green. If you pick up the green, just blob over the top. Oh, David, what are you drinking? Give the camera a show. Da, 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 da. Da, da. Guinness. Of course it's Guinness. It's Irish night here. And we just had, homemade by me, Guinness and steak pies with champ mash and minted peas. And to be sure, it was very tasty. Did I get a thumbs up, people? Yeah. Oh, Daisy gave me one thumb, got nothing from the boys. Left hanging, left hanging. All right, so that is the grey acrylic. You can see it's, I didn't realise it was on, going to catch up now. Hi, Kirsty. I tell you what, Emily, if you don't want to, just have your breakfast this morning. This will be saved and you can do it tomorrow, okay? Right, I'm going to take you out of my holder. I know, it was so yummy, Caroline, I can't tell you. David did take a picture of my pies because... There you are, you're back. When we make Cornish pasties in Cornwall, we put a letter on the pasty so that everybody knows whose pasty it is. And that's just some, I don't know, I think the miners used to do it, and that's something that we kind of have always done in my family. That's what my gran taught me. So we put a pastry letter on it, and, you know, everybody knows whose is who. So I thought I'd do the same here. And I put little pastry things on my little pot steak and Guinness pies. Somebody had a rainbow, a pastry rainbow. Somebody had a pastry pot of gold. Somebody had a pastry, what else did I do? A landscape, a cottage, and the last one was a shamrock. So I did take a photo and I'll upload that. Okay, so let me show you. Watercolour people. Here's where we're at with watercolour. Okay. So I've done my basic drawing. Here's my watercolours here. These are really cool sets. There's 2 trays, which means you've got a really good variety. If you haven't got that many, that's okay. You don't need to necessarily have that many. With watercolour, you need to let the water be the kind of like, what's the word? The mechanism to get tone and shade. So watch me, what I'm going to do. I'm going to wet all of my paper where the sky is, okay? So be careful not to go too much near the green because the green will bleed, but it doesn't matter that much if it bleeds. So I'm just putting water on the sky, around my house, around my chimney, around my flame-like random trees. So I know there's no colour there, but I've just covered that all with water, okay? So all of that is painted with water. Now I'm going to find my grey, and my grey is only one colour, so I can't make this grey lighter. But when I put it on the water, look what happens. It immediately starts to spread on its own accord and create the sky that you're looking for. Now with watercolour, you don't want to brush too much. You want the water to do the spreading. So you can see I'm dabbing. I'm not brushing, I'm dabbing. Okay? Dip it back in the water, dab again, and the water will just spread and move. And before you know it, if you dab around like this, you start to create the formation of clouds without having to paint anything. And this is why people love watercolour, because it is technical, but the water is so soft, the sort of patterns that it makes, if I pull it back, look, you can start to see, I'm starting to get that sky without, I haven't painted anything like this. I'm just dabbing my brush into the wet sky, and it kind of moves around. Now, let's say you've put too much water on. Just get yourself a bit of kitchen towel. David, you're using brown, not grey. David's got a bit of a brown sky.
It's a very dark sky.
It's a very dark sky. Woohoo! If you've got too much water, just get a bit of kitchen towel, push it gently, and pull it up. And it will just take some of it off. Daisy, you're in getting close to too much water, so let's just pull yours off a little bit. Like that, okay? If it's too watery, especially if you're not using a watercolour paper, you're using just regular paper, let's say something out of your office, then it's going to get wet very quickly. So make sure you keep dabbing it back. Okay, so I'm just doing a bit of darker in between behind those trees there, just to get a bit of shadow. We'll paint the trees in a minute, don't worry about that. The good thing about watercolour is it does dry really quickly, so you can then move on. Am I using your brush, Daisy?
One of mine.
Oh, sorry, sweetheart.
Oh no, it's fine. I was using this anyway.
Okay. So I'm trying to get that moody sky. Harry, if yours is looking all a bit samey, that's it. Just use your paper towel, dab it back, and then you'll have bits of paleness as well, okay? All right, so I think that's it for my sky. I'm now going to go back to my acrylic. And those people doing acrylics, you can watch how we do the clouds on the acrylics, okay? So that's my moody sky on watercolour. How can you get the same effect with crayon? Ooh, blimey, there is a challenging question. Oh, I flipped myself. I don't want to flip myself. God, sometimes you catch yourself at the wrong angle and it's really scary. That was horrible when I just saw myself then. How can you get it with crayon?
Put it on the side and then scrape it off.
Yeah, I think Harry's right. I haven't tried this, but okay, let's flip it on me. I'm ready. Ha! Okay, I haven't tried this, but one, I would peel the paper of the crayon down and I would use the side of the crayon rather than drawing with a crayon. So if my finger was the crayon, I would use the side of the crayon and you might get a different kind of texture. The other thing you could try, crayon is waxy. So if you warm your fingers up like this, looks very random for a Saturday night, but if you warm your fingers up like this and then use your warm thumb over some of the crayony area, you might be able to create some kind of smudging that might give you kind of that crayony effect. I don't know. Give it a try. I'm going to try that tomorrow and see how it goes, okay? If not, you're just going to have to kind of draw it in like you would with a pencil. And pressure is how you get thicker colour or thinner colour. When you're using pencils or crayons or oil pastel, the more pressure you put on it, or just regular pencil, the darker. Hey, by the way, do you like my earrings? My son made these, Thomas Bessel. Daisy made me some. They're going to be for next week. Okay, flip you back. And down we go. So, can you see, this is just with the acrylic, it's just a kind of one tone at the moment. So we want to work into that tone, and I'm going to use my brush, and it's similar to the watercolour, but I'm just using the side of the brush to kind of create some movement. So I'm getting a darker tone underneath, and this is going to help to create the look of clouds. And just like I did with the watercolour one, I just want it... Ooh, too dark. Wait a minute, that's too dark. I just want it to be a bit... Oh my God, I got orange. Hello, fire extinguisher, stop the world. Got orange. Got orange. I've got an orange sky. Okay, wipe it off. Panic not. Oh, it's tiny. It's tiny, but it's orange. Looks like my house is in a bushfire. Okay. Yours does as well. Okay, so I'm now just going to... I want it to just be a bit darker so that that cottage will really jump forward. Now, it's much harder to get that softness that you guys have got with watercolour, with acrylic. And the softness is really about not using too much paint. And can you see what I'm doing with my brush? I'm kind of agitating it. So if I've got too much paint, I'm just wiping it on my hand. You can wipe it on the side of your mat. But I don't want too much paint because I want to just use my bristles. And we've never done this before on a sip and paint. But you're just using your bristles and you're kind of scratching into the colour. and you get a softness, so it creates texture. So that's what we want, just to create some texture. You don't want really hard lines like that. You want to kind of agitate your brush. Agitate. Sounds dead posh. You are in a high quality art class here, people. High quality, agitation all the way. Who knew that you were going to learn about an agitating brush tonight? Okay, family, you all okay? Still with me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Harry! Did you hear my youngest son belch then? Really? Holy dooly. This is it, isn't it? It's like warts and all. It's almost like the Big Brother house when you come to art class with me. You get to see it all. Alright, so, there we go. Okay, that's going to be my style. And hopefully you can see, I'll just get rid of that hard line there. You've got that softness. I'm going to see it through the camera. Yeah, you get much more. I love your earrings, thank you. Thomas did a good job. He's never made polymer clay earrings before, and Daisy was having a go, and Daisy's a bit of a pro at them. And before I know it, Tom had made some really cool earrings. That was pretty... What?
Those ones I made for you.
Harry made me earrings too,
Can I
yeah.
get them?
Can you get them?
Yeah.
Are they still upstairs? I don't know.
I don't even know.
In the bin.
Daisy? No, they're not in the bin. Tom, can you pour me some champagne, please? I think it's legally acceptable at 14 to pour champagne in your own home. That's what I would say. All right, we're going to let that dry. You know how we like to move around the painting? We're going to come down to here now. I want you to colour all of this in a beautiful yellowy green. Now, I'm going to mix this direct on the canvas. So I'm going, ooh, that's gone a bit wobbly. I've just got some yellow on my brush, I've got some green on my brush, and I want it to be really loose. Okay, so I don't want it to be flat, I want it to have some movement. So I'm literally just gonna scratch the colour, stop saying literally, find a new word. I am actually going to agitate, no. I'm gonna move the colour together because I want it to have that bright kind of gorgeous field of Ireland, the gorgeous green field of Ireland. So, and I want it to have, if it was painted really flat, it would just be a bit boring. So we want to get some nice texture in there. Thank you, Thomas, barman, for my champagne. That's very good. A couple of years' time, you can get a job in the Blind Tiger, I'm sure. Serving up pints. Well, you don't have pints in this country, you have schooners or something. Or pots or something like that. Okay, so I'm just adding the green and the yellow going behind that house. I just dipped my paintbrush into a bit of white there, just to add a bit of lightness just in that bottom corner. If you're using watercolour, you just would leave, you wouldn't put so much colour in, you just let the water create the colour in that corner.
These are the other ones you made.
Oh,
I didn't make them because you got rid of them.
I haven't got rid of them. So, yellowy green, lovely, lovely, bright, vibrant colour.
And just the yellow and then I used that one and then that one.
So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to do the same on my watercolour. It's very easy with watercolour just to wet the page and then literally just to paint it using the yellow. Let the water create the colour for you. So something else that happened to me this week. I was touched beyond belief. I can't tell you. Look, you've all been amazing. You are all amazing friends, family, gorgeous people from around the world, and you know, I miss and love you all in different ways. And you know what, I'm just doing this because I'm barking mad and I'm bored, I guess, and I'm trying to make sense of what my future is going to be like after COVID-19, which even though they might lift the restrictions, which, you know, they're talking about lifting the restrictions in a couple of weeks, the reality to me is I'm not sure how many people are going to come to art classes. You know, everybody's skint. People have been laid off. Nobody's got any money. Life's going to be very different for me, and I'm not sure what that means right now. Clearly, Zoom isn't the best format for me at the moment. I'll need to work through that. But one of my friends, I teach 2 of her children on a Tuesday, she nominated me for a Thank You Thursday at ABC News, and the radio station phoned me up, and we did a bit of a 10-minute interview on Thursday, and it was amazing. It was lovely that she had nominated me. It was lovely to be recognised, but more than anything, it was really lovely to, I don't know, talk about how people can come and do this on a Saturday night. So I'm not thinking about, you know, commercially life beyond. I don't even know what that landscape is for me right now. But what I do want to do is try and get people that are sat at home like I've been, crazily fed up with the monotony of it all and the fact that you can't see everybody and you miss your friends. And, you know, when Tracy popped over today, I couldn't even give her a hug, and it's just, ugh. And, you know, my family as well. The fact that we can connect like this, to me, is magic. And I hope beyond COVID-19, we still do stuff like this. Because what it's made me realise is actually the most important thing, the most important things that I miss and treasure are actually the people that make my life, not the stuff I do, not the stuff I buy. The fact that my son made these earrings, the fact that my daughter has created a little animation for me, the fact that my other son made me dinner, cooked nachos, and he's 10. You know, these are the things that are really changing and making the good that's coming out of COVID-19. You guys are all painting. I mean, some of you have painted before, some never, some don't even give a shit, but they just want to listen to me once a week and have a bit of a laugh, well, whatever. And I think that's fabulous too. So we need to keep this up, eh? We need to do this, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. And even when the chips are down, and it was all very stressful this afternoon, you've got to kind of find the fun in it all, really, and work through it. Okay, magic, you are something else. Love being connected to you. Mum, I love being connected to you too. And one day, on another planet, we'll see each other. Love you, KB from the Trade Greys. Love you too, gorgeous guys. Thanks for my wine. As you can hear, it's going down a treat. Okay, back to the painting. This is when I get a little bit spoon. All right, back to the painting. Oh, too much of Thomas's head and not enough of the painting. That's a scary thought. Okay. On the left-hand side. Okay. This lump up here, I want you to go yellow. Now, if you've got a little bit of green and yellow, that's okay, but I want it to be as bright as it can be. So if you're using watercolour, make sure you clean your brush so that you can try and get some really nice, vibrant yellow up in that corner. Okay? And when you've got yellow, you're then going to come down here to the bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to go yellow, but we're going to add in a bit of orange as well. Okay, nice bright colours today. Happy, happy. We all know that the Irish flag is orange, white and green. Is that right, David? Denny, is it orange, white and green? Green, red and yellow. Blue, purple and pink. What is it? I think it's orange, white and green. I'm joking, Denny, I'm joking. Anyway, so we're going to add a bit of orange and yellow to that side. And I'm guessing this is going to be like a cornfield, or there's those beautiful fields in springtime in the Northern Hemisphere that have that abundance, what a lovely word, abundance of bright yellow flowers. Mum, what are they called? Those fields with big yellow flowers. I can remember when I was at sixth form, I went and did a photo shoot with two friends both called Becky. It's a bit like that in Cornwall. Everybody's your grannies, your aunts, your mothers, your son and all that. Anyway, my two friends called Becky, we went and did a photo shoot in one of these flowers and we threw them up in the air. It was all very arty and very dramatic, but I do remember those flowers. Green, white and gold. Thank you, Carolyn. Love it. Glad I got it right. I was pretty close. Is that gold enough? I think that's gold enough. All right. Just letting you know you're on camera, people.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to let you finish painting those, and I'm going to go around and do my watercolour.
Are you going to go around and show us?
Oh, would you like me to?
Oh, no.
Are you ready? Are you ready to show the world? Yeah, we need to do a family reveal.
Let's look at this corner.
That corner first, okay.
Corner.
All right, cornfield. Sorry, not corner. Got it.
Is this the...
I think. Oh, so here's a question, family. Is it easier in watercolours? Do you think?
Probably.
Probably.
Yes. Can blend it easier.
You can blend it easier. Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah.
Dad?
It's easier to move around.
David, what do you think?
I've never done it before.
And how are you finding it?
A bit more tricky.
Bit more tricky?
Yeah.
Try not to paint with it like an acrylic. So don't try and get the flatness of colour.
Yeah.
It's about just letting the water
Like
blend and mix.
More water
Like
then. We need
Much more water, yeah. It's very soft. It's a very soft way of painting. If you try and push too hard with your brush, you just break the paper. So you've just got to let the paper kind of just be soft, wet,
Subtle.
and pliable. Yeah.
Subtle.
Because it'll dry hard after.
All right. So, are you ready for the Bessel reveal? Everybody likes it when we go around and go. Do-do-do-do. It's like Monty Python sketch. Okay. Let's go around and see how everyone's doing. Mum loves acrylics. Good. I think acrylics are great too, Mum. So there's mine at the moment. You can see, people. Okay, we're going to come around. This is my watercolour version here. So that's what I'm doing at the same time. I'm actually thinking, looking at mine, that mine doesn't have enough colour. So it doesn't look strong enough. So I'm just literally going to pick up some more green and just put a bit more green in the front there. And I also think it's not strong enough in the orange here. So I'm just going to make it a bit more vibrant there.
That's awesome. Looks like a pizza.
That's much better.
Yeah.
And then my yellow in the back. So looking at daisies. Very nice, Daisy. Do you realise that you decided to put your road the wrong way? Is that because you're left-handed?
Did I?
Yeah. So, well, ours goes up there and yours goes there, which is fine. But that means that your house is on the wrong side of the road.
That means you're...
But that's okay. That's nice. I quite like you've done that. Good job. No rules.
Yellow here.
Thomas's is different as well. His has gone around the corner.
Yeah, me and Tom are the same.
Nice.
Mine just went this.
Yours looks like a scary old cottage, that does, doesn't it? It's like Hagrid's lair, that is. Harry, nice job. Wow, there is a chimney and a half. That is a big stacker. I like this one. Good job. Big stacker. And David, we got rid of the brown sky. Good job. So what I would say with yours is just try and paint down to where your trees are, you know. Don't use paint, just use water. Let me show you. Like if you just use water on your...
Because you have
you've
such
got
a solid
orange.
colour. You have such a solid colour.
Now you've done it.
I've gone and fucked it up. No, I haven't. Sorry.
G-rated.
G-rated. Right.
PG.
Just agitate it with water. And you've got too much orange in there.
It was fine before you came along.
Oh, no. I've ruined it. All right. You just need a bit more colour there. Watercolour reveal. I did the watercolour reveal. There we go. That's mine at the moment. And all the table here, everybody's doing watercolours, okay? I want to show you something, actually. Well, let's just move the whole pile, because that's just annoying. I want to show you. Are you ready for a little bit of a tour around my house? Okay, I want to show you, while they're doing that, I want to show you last week's sip and paint. So up my stairs, because David, the kids loved it so much, it's gone in the bathroom. So I'm taking you upstairs. It's not up. Oh, well, it's going to be up. There's the kids' sip and paints. And we've got the hooks up ready to go. And it's going to go there in the bathroom. It's not quite there yet. I'll take a photo when it is. But the kids loved it so much. They said, please don't paint over them. We want it in our bathroom. So that's where it's going. All right, back downstairs. It's just like a house party. It's like a scene from Big Brother. There's the cat hanging out in the corner. Harry's had enough. Come on, let's get it finished. Oh, 20 minutes, I reckon we'll all be done.
This is a short one.
I know, it's a short one. Peasy easy. Let's go. Okie dokie. I want you to try and find emerald green. How do you make emerald green? Emerald green is green with blue. And that will get you a beautiful dark emerald green colour. Blue and green together. And I'm going to paint in the back row of these trees. I'm not going to paint all the way down to the bottom. I'm just going to paint the kind of triangular bits, okay?
The colour you already have, the emerald green.
Emerald green, a bluey green you want.
Huh? In the set we have.
A bluey green.
What blush?
I'm using, it doesn't really matter, one with a point. I'm going to use a bigger brush or a smaller brush.
Wait, so what are exactly like doing?
You're painting the tops of the trees like this in this emerald green,
Or just the top?
like that. Just the tops of them because we're going to put another layer of trees in front of those. And these trees here are going to be painted all the way down, and then that will make everybody know that those trees in the background there are the same trees. So they are, they're like conifers or poplar trees. Alright, so I've just done that in behind that tree there. So that gives it some beautiful depth actually. I really like that. That's awesome. Now while you've got that colour, I want you to try and do a bush here. Now watch me before you do it, but the bush is going to go here. And I'm using my brush, so if you watch me, I'm using my brush and I'm twisting and curling it to get that curly shape. Okay, and it's in that lovely emerald green colour. If you're using watercolours and your area is too wet, wait for it to dry. Don't do it just yet, it will dry really quickly. But if it's too wet with the orangey yellow, then it will just bleed. You don't want to do that, okay? Yeah, just do it wherever you want. It doesn't really matter, Daisy. If you have got a slightly different layout, that's fine. It doesn't matter exactly where you put anything. Now I'm going to add some just blue on the top of these trees. So it's just blue on the top. So I've done the bluey green and I'm just putting just blue on top, and it helps to create shadow and depth and darkness. So after I've done the bluey green, I'm just adding some just blue on top of that. There we go, good job. And a bit of blue in here. If you've ever looked at Vincent van Gogh's Starry Night, he's got these kind of trees in that, kind of swirly kind of poplar trees. Alright, now I'm going to come over and I'm going to do my bluey green trees here in the watercolour. Now with watercolour, obviously watercolour only works with water. That sounds like an obvious statement, I know. But the more water you put on it, the more you'll release the colour. But if you have too much water in your brush, the colour will be quite weak. So you learn when you're using watercolours to decide how much colour you want to use. If you use it quite dry, then you'll get lots of colour out. And if you use it quite wet, they'll be really sort of soft and really a pale colour. Okay, so I've done those popular trees there. Now mine is quite wet. I'm going to try and do the one on the left. And I'm going to hold it up to show you what I've done on the watercolour one, so that those that are doing watercolours can see what I've done. How you doing, everybody? Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you put a bit of blue in your trees?
No, didn't.
Try and get the navy dark blue, yeah?
Okay. So this one.
See this one here, next to the purple? That dark blue.
They're not all the same.
So-
no.
Yeah.
Pardon?
They're not all the same. There's different layouts.
Oh, okay.
That one, that one, that.
And this is also done.
Yeah, this one's navy.
Alright, I'm going to lift my watercolour up and show you guys my watercolour. So you can see, even though you've got different materials, ooh, it's starting to drip there. Even though you've got different materials, you get a similar look. I think they look pretty similar. Similar. Can you see both of them? There, 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 there. Same, but different. So you get a slightly different finish, but the process isn't that dissimilar. Okay. Okay. Let's put in some other trees now. I want you to find like a darker green. Those of you that are making your colours up, if you've only got one green, to get light green, add yellow or white. To get a darker green, add blue to it. Okay, so I'm now going to shape in just a really nice round shape of a bush there. And I'm going to do some bushes just on that top of that hill there, as if this is part of the hedge going down that bush line. And I'm going to have one bush here. So it's a slightly different green than the bluey green that you made. It's more of a green, grass green. Going to add another bush there. Feel free, by all means, to add bushes where you want, okay? Because at the end of the day, this is your picture. And I want you to feel like you've had some sort of, some chance of composition. That green there, I'm just going to add a bit more colour to, because it's a bit, I can see the canvas through it. I don't want that. Okay, I'm now going to go and try and mix a colour which is the light green and the dark green, and hopefully it's going to give us a different green again. So this is the light green and the dark green mixed in the middle, and I'm going to use that. So what I'm trying to do is get a green that's different to the one I used on the hill to do another bush which is there, and I'm trying to keep it really kind of round shaped so that it's quite a contrast to those trees in behind the back. There. Going to do the same here. Just put in a bush there. And the same down here. So this is kind of like a little group of bushes just in the foreground here. It's coming together, looking beautiful. You okay? Yeah? Good job. Okay, let me just do my trees here and get the green there.
Use this for the background.
That's where I can see mine.
We're going to colour in the hill.
Yeah, I just saw mine and thought, how did we miss that one hill? What colour do you think it should be, Harry?
A
Dark
dark green.
green?
A blue green.
A blue green. I like the idea of that.
An emerald. Not bluey.
More of a More of a bluey green. Okay. So I just realised that I've got one hill that we haven't done back here. So we're going to make up a bluey green, and I'm actually going to say make up a bluey green and add a touch of white to it, so you end up with a nice sort of soft tone like that. So it'd end up being almost aqua, I guess, or duck egg blue, that kind of colour.
Yeah, I had that colour.
You got that colour already? Good job. So what is next week going to look like, people, hey? We're all going to be homeschooling our kids. Kids, are you excited about it?
No.
What are you not excited about? The fact that I'm going to ride your back?
Yep.
Oh, school itself.
And the fact that you're just going to be like, don't
I don't think I'm going to be like that. Hopefully I'm going to empower you, Daisy, for you to do your own work. The school teacher will be telling you to do your work, not me. Okay, now I want you to get some orange. The last bush in this space up here is going to be bright orange. Okay, this up here is going to be bright orange. Try and create a kind of curvy shape. Bright orange. Gorgeous Irish colour. Orange hair for the lovely ginger hair that they have. I love it. Wish I had that when I was a child. And now I'm going to have a bright orange tree here. Get that bright orange tree in there. Don't worry about the shape of it. It's a bush, and we're gonna black line this, all of this at the end anyway, which sounds crazy, but that is what is going to happen. I know.
Are we doing it with watercolor black line?
You will, but you don't use as much water. I've put in a little bit of orange in between those two green bushes there, and I'm going to put in a kind of bushy orange bush here. So this just helps to balance the colours of the painting. So we've got like a little bushy tree there. You doing okay?
Yeah.
Yeah? Good job. Right, so I'm just going to do my watercolour. So I need a bluey green colour. That one there. I like this, it's beautiful. It's really colourful. Okay, and now we're going to do the orange bush in there. If your watercolours, when you're using your palettes and you're changing colours, if they start to get really grubby and dirty, then just get a paper towel and push the paper towel on top of the palette and it will take all the dirty colour off. So it's super easy. You just wet them and then you put a paper towel over the top and it will just blot off all the yuckiness. Just putting in that orange tree there. And what else? There was one down here, wasn't there?
Paint on it.
Okay, so that's me caught up on the tree over there. Good job. Everybody, how are we doing? Are you all at the same place as me? Are you keeping up okay? Give me a thumbs up. Give me a message if you're stuck or you need some extra explanation. Hopefully you're doing okay. We're going to paint in the houses next. All right, so I want to make sure you've done all your bushes and you're up to it. Daisy, can you just grab the thumbs up all around? Beautiful. Can you grab the champagne for me, please?
Mummy, our houses are painted in.
Betsy's giving me a thumbs up. Got thumbs up from Carolyn, Pam, everybody. Good job. All right.
Don't drop it, Ellie.
I'm just getting a little top up from my daughter. Thank you, daughter. She's got the giggles. It's going to go everywhere. Guaranteed to spill. Daisy, why are you pulling it away? Stop! Oh my God.
I can't do it in the air.
You can't do it in the air?
No, I have to have it on the table. It has to be on the table.
It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
That's gonna spill, Tom. It's not.
No, it's all right. He's got it. He's got it. So when I was making my steak and Guinness pies this morning, the boys had said to me when I bought Guinness, "What's Guinness like, Mum?" And I said, "Well, when I make the pie, I'll give you a little taste." So they were very excited when I called them down at 10 o'clock in the morning. They had about that much of Guinness. Thomas obviously thinks he's well attuned to the flavour. Went, "Oh, it's lovely, that is, Mum, lovely." Did you like it, Thomas?
That's it.
Loved it. And then, hold, Trey Gray needs a drink. Okay, holding. And then it's really important as part of, I've got an itchy nose. I think that means we're coming into money, so I'm not going to complain. But I think as part of their, what's the word? DT, design technology, understanding industrial tech, all that sort of stuff. We got a knife and we cut the Guinness open, the Guinness can open. We opened it up and we wanted to see the widget. It's very important to understand how this stuff works. And it's literally a round ball, like a ping pong ball, with a couple of holes in it. That's all it is. But anyway, it was very exciting at 10 o'clock this morning to be drinking Guinness and showing my children what gets the froth. And they loved it. All right. Back we go. Trey Gray, hurry up, we're on. Okay. I want you to mix a little bit of real pale white grey, okay? We're going to paint the cottages, and the front of the cottage, the front edge of the cottage is just going to be white. For those of you that are doing watercolours, just wait. I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? Acrylics, follow me. Watercolours, just wait, okay? Because otherwise you'll paint it too dark. So I'm just painting over, and paint over your guidelines. That's fine. We're going to paint it again in a minute. So you can see my colour. It's hardly got any... Oh, the red just went everywhere. Look, I threw a paper towel. I just lifted that up, and red has gone everywhere. All over everything. Okay, so I'm not going to lift up again because the red goes everywhere. But anyway, you can see that the whitey grey is really pale and really soft colour, okay? So I'm just painting in the front fascia and the side of the house. All right, and I've painted over my lines, that's okay. So that's that bit done. Okay, watercolour people, let's go and let me show you that. Okay, I'm going to lift off my camera so I can show you. Okay, now the paper is already white. So if you paint too much on that, it's going to be way too dark. So once again, wet your house first. The front of the house, wet it.
That's green.
And I think you'll find the colour of the water is enough. When you rub it over your lines, the colour of the water will be colour enough for your house. Rub your brush over the front of the house and it'll rub into those grey lines, and that will be just enough colour. Okay?
But my water's green.
Is your house gone green, has it? Why don't you change your water then? If it's really horrible. But mine has just gone enough grey. And if it's not quite enough grey, that's when you dip it into your grey and you literally just add a little bit of grey paint on the underhang of where the roof is. And that's the only place you're just going to kind of do it as a tiny bit of a shadow, okay? You don't need very much at all. The water is kind of greyy, and I've just added a tiny bit of grey on my brush, And I'm just adding a bit of shadow underneath where the roof hang would be. And that's it, okay? You want that just real softness. You don't want it to be too dark. Can I talk through the acrylic cottage again? Yes, I can. So the acrylic cottage, I made this colour grey. It's really, really light. So it's pretty much white with a little bit of, tiny bit of grey, okay? And then Sherry, all I did was I painted on top and over my lines. So I'm just painting it in block at the moment. Just over my lines, not the roof. Just the front fascia there. And then that side bit of the house. Just the side bit of the house. And then actually, I should say, you want to do your chimneys as well. Kids, do your chimneys as well. And once you've done that, Sherry, then get a tiny bit of dark grey. And just like I did with the watercolours, add a little bit of a darker grey just underneath where the roof would be. It'll just sort of give it a bit of shadow. Oh, that's on the grass and not on me. It's hard to hold the camera at the same time as paint, I must say. But hopefully you're getting the idea. So it's just a tiny bit of colour. At the end of the day, correct me if I'm wrong, Irish friends, but these are lime wash cottages, and so they're pretty much white. And their lime wash creates that white colour, and really the grey is just the weathering of them, really. Okay, I want you to find the same colour as you did for that hill, that greeny blue. That greeny blue, almost aqua colour, and then I want you to add a tiny bit of black in it, and you'll get a kind of slaty blue colour. A slaty blue colour. I'm going to point that down there so you can see. So I had that green blue there, and I've just added a tiny bit of black, and I've got a kind of slaty greeny blue colour. Okay? And that's the colour that I'm going to use for my road.
The green colour.
So I want it to be, it should be more of a kind of grey green, Harry.
Grey. Get the aqua and add a bit of black.
Yeah, add a bit of grey to it, add a bit of black. You want to tone it back. So you don't want it to be green like the hills. I'm adding some black straight on the canvas at the front of that there. This is at the very front of the road. So it can be quite strong. And I'm going to use my water to blend that in. You'll see I'm getting that grey-green. Grey blue would be fine as well. But you just want it to have a bit of a grey-black tinge rather than, because otherwise it's not going to, when you go round behind your bushes, you want it to be a different colour. So we just want to show that that is a different colour than everything else. And then very carefully with the edge of your brush, just go around the edge and make that road disappear into the hill. So you just want to make that road go round and disappear. It is a little bit tricky, Harry, I'm not going to fib. Takes a bit of patience, but you want it to look like the road is going round the corner. Hello, Monique from New Zealand, gorgeous lady. Oh my God, it's been so long since we've hung out. We need to hang out again. How are you diddling over there in lockdown? I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. Gosh, we've got New Zealand, we've got England, we've got Ireland, we've got Brisbane, Sydney, Newcastle. It's all happening here tonight on a Friday night. I love it. It's Saturday night. Life in lockdown is one big party. Okay, let's move on and do the roof of our houses. Bless you, David. I'm glad you were using your elbow on camera.
Dad's out of the camera.
Dad's out of the camera, okay. So the same colour we used for the road is what we're going to use for our rooftop. Now be careful of your chimneys, and we're going to colour in that rooftop. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush so I don't make a mess. So I'm just going to try and draw in that rooftop again. And now I'm just going to colour it in.
Wait. What colour is it? Black.
The same, Daisy, it's the same colour as the road.
Okay.
Okay, nearly done that bit. So remember, you've got those extra bits of that chimney on that back cottage that you need to colour round. Can't see. Am I in the way? Oh, my shoulder's in the way. Sorry. Apologies for that.
That's what I was talking about before. Yeah, now it's fine.
So, using the same colour as you did for the road, pretty much. We're just going to colour in the roof of our Irish cottage. Like that.
Cottage.
Please don't do that, Daisy. Okay, good job. How are we diddling there? Everybody give me a thumbs up if you're keeping up and I'm not going too fast. We are probably 10 minutes from finishing this picture, guys. 10 minutes from finishing it. We're just going to put in, excellent, we've got some thumbs up. Going to put in the windows and the door, and then we're going to do our black lining. So, the windows and the door, I'm going to go for, I'm adding a little bit more blue to that greeny, blacky blue. And I'm going to add in a big square door here. Square, rectangular, I should say. And I'm guessing this is like a shed or something like that. I'm going to add a little window as well. Very rudimentary, just kind of a square shape. I'm going to add another one in here as well. 2 windows at the front. If you want to change it up and add your own shape window, an arch or something, you can. And then at the back, we're going to go, I need to stand in front of the camera a minute, I'm just going to try and whip round this side. I want to draw down here where that original line was, down there where the next line is, and then the front door is going to be right in the middle. So there's the rectangle right in the middle of that. It's almost like, I guess that's one of those protruding bits of a house, like a porch area. So a big, nice big rectangular door in the middle of that cottage. And then a little cob window to the right. That happens to be the left, but I'll now do one on the right. And actually I'm going to do a second little window. And they're really small in comparison. They're really small. The little windows are quite small. Okay? Beautiful. Now, this is where the magic happens. To make this picture just, look like a modern contemporary piece, we start to add black lines. Now, you want to use the smallest brush you can, and you're going to start, I would start at the very top of your picture. If you're using watercolours, you need to make sure you've got enough water to make the colour come out, but you don't want your brush to be really sopping wet. If it's sopping wet, then it's going to drip all over your canvas, and you don't want it to do this.
Yeah.
So you want it to be a nice kind of strong line. So I'm starting at the top of my popular trees, and I'm just very sensitively going over them, doing the black outline, And then I'm going to go down to my cottage. Now you need to definitely have a steady hand for this, because we want to put in the 3D bits that we drew earlier of our chimney. And then I'm going to go across there and I'm going to put in 2 little chimney pots. Now we didn't draw those in before, so they're the extra bits that you just need to pop in at the end. I'm concentrating, so I can't chat and concentrate. Have you noticed that? Maybe that was what I should have done more at school. They should have made me concentrate more, and then I might have actually passed some exams. I did pass some exams actually, Harry. Art was one of them. Drama was another. I happen to be very good at English.
Just not maths.
Maths was more of a challenge. It didn't help that I didn't like the teacher. And me and Mr. Blakely.
Why didn't you?
Why didn't I like him?
Yeah.
Well, he used to rub himself up across the tables, which was kind of peculiar when you're a young woman. You found it kind of odd. And he was far too familiar, I thought, with the students. And then the reality is, I didn't really understand it. Because I didn't understand it, and I was far too kind of wayward for him, we just didn't see eye to eye, I think is the easiest way of saying it.
Wait, so like go to his students' houses?
No! He never went to his students' houses. No. He was a perfectly nice guy, we just didn't click.
His chest.
No, not his chest. Don't be silly, Harry, you're starting to show your age now.
10 years old.
Alright, so I've done this bit here I'm a bit scared about because the orange is still really wet. So I'm trying to do the line above the orange so that I don't smush it. And it really is about taking your time. You can't hurry this sort of thing, because if you hurry it, all you're going to do is kind of mush up all the colours. Yeah.
Done.
So I'm just doing that bit there, and now I'm coming into this foreground here. And so where the bushes weren't very clear earlier, now with your black line, you start to separate those bushes, and it really helps to show the definition of the landscape. Okay, nearly there. How are you doing, guys?
Very good.
Pretty good? Is this easier than last week or not?
Very
Yeah.
I try and find things that are pretty achievable, really.
no. It's just a bit hard with watercolour.
No,
Well,
it's
Do you
easy.
think the watercolour's harder than acrylic?
Yeah.
I think
it's harder
it's
to
easy to
manage.
blend with. I think it's easy.
You think it's easier?
Yeah.
I think it is one of those things, Daisy, that you find what works for you. Some people really love watercolours. You can definitely get much more softness. Okay, so how are you doing, Dave?
Okay, concentrating.
Concentrating, can't talk. I'm going to come around and have a look at everyone to see how everyone's doing for the family. Need to go around the back, around this side. My husband is not loving his watercolour experience. We're para, but loving every colour that is a biblical burning bush. Oh, dear me. Denny Brennan, what to do with you, you Irish fool. Irish Scottish fool, I should say. around here, down around the corner. I would love it if you could take photographs of your setup in your homes, how you've laid out your paints, you know, who's there, what does it look like. It would be great to see how everybody's doing it. It'd be really awesome. My daughter and I are loving the acrylics. I know. I prefer acrylics. They're a bit stronger, aren't they, Naeem? You get a... Look, it is horses for courses, and it's good to try new things. It's good to try different ones, and then you can work out how to improve it. Am I in the way? Okay, moving out the way again. Okay, I'm nearly done here. Are you guys nearly done?
Yep.
Just doing the top of this hill here. I'm ready for a break now, I know that. I did a birthday party at 2 o'clock till 5, and then I did the children's picnic and paint and picnic, and now this. So I've worked since 2 o'clock and I'm now knackered. Time to chill out, I reckon. Okay, just put in some black lines on this bit of the hills at the back. And around my burning bush there. What'd you say, Haz? What'd you say?
Those sentimentals. I think I'm finished.
I'm going to add in a little chimney there, and just in black. I feel like it needs a chimney.
Are you going to come round?
I'm going to come round and see what you've done. Most definitely. Just going to add a little bit with my finger. Those of you that are doing acrylics, I'm just adding a little bit of white in some of the cloud. So just getting a bit more softness there to that cloud if you want to do that. And I'm also just going to add some grasses in the front, just in the very foreground here. Just going to add some green, just to add a bit of texture in the front. So I'm at the very bottom of my canvas, and I'm just flicking up to get that little sharp edge just at the very front. There and there. I'm going to add a bit of dark green as well. And I'm just going to do a little bit of that grassy look here, just around the edges, as the edges of that bush, just to make it look more like the foreground. This isn't on the original picture, but I'm deciding that this is what it needs. This is missing. The guy missed it out. Didn't get his depth, did he? His depth of field. And finally, I'm just going to add in a couple of little birds in mine, in the sky, just to break up the sky. So I'm just going to add in a couple of little birds flying in that sky. And that is my Irish landscape. So much fun. Gorgeous. Right, well, let's go around and have a look at the fams. First time I've painted since school in 50 years. Diana, go for it. However, I did see the creative stuff that you've been doing at home. Here's Daisy's. Looking fantastic. I love the diamond windows. That's gorgeous, babe. Good job. Let's have a look at Tomster's. Oh, we got a heart-shaped bush right in the middle, Tom. That's a heart-shaped bush. It is. It's lovely. Lovely. All right, let's have a look at Harry's. Harry's is much more sinister. Much more sinister and dark. Look, it's moody. Looks like a jail or something up here.
Yeah.
That's not a happy place to live, Hazza. Any comment?
Is that a chimney?
Looks like a crematorium, like it was a bit dark. And David, wow, look at your lines. You found an inner thing going on, haven't you, with the old art?
The lines cover up all the mistakes.
The lines cover. I think you've done really well, actually, Deeps. Well done.
I like his top house.
Yeah,
I like your top house.
I like your top house. Good job.
Your small house is a bit white.
So I haven't quite finished my watercolour yet. I need to finish all those last bits, but I'm going to do that in a minute, and then I'll take a photograph of it at the end. So that's it, people. That is your Saturday night with the Bessels. Batty as ever. And like I say, you're in my home. There's my kitchen laid out with my paints. We're just having one big house party here. We're going to party all night now. We're going to drink and dance. We're going to play some games and have fun.
Yes, we will.
Whoop, whoop, da, da.